Hello, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com. Um, I, I thought I need to clarify on a lot of my combat tactics seem strange. And not only to most people, but to many combat veterans. This is what I want to clarify. The thing is, and I think all combat veterans know this, but there are different types of combat. I understand I'm getting right into this and that. I understand that. But if you understand where I come from, it's easier to understand why I use the tactics I use. Okay. First, and I've mentioned it before in other videos, military and police are trained to work as a unit, such as the Vikings, the Spartans. They work as a group. And normally, that's the type of combat that veterans experience. I have experienced some of that, but the main part that I really remember, and you hear me talk about it, is we've got a place. We dig in on the side of a hill, and there's three of us, a three-man fire team. And we don't leave that hole. The next hole will be 20 yards over. There's three people. They never leave that hole. And we go up against, like I say, 500 to 7,000. We are overrun. Most of the time we're overrun. You don't have enough bullets. It's nothing like you see on TV. And it's in the dark. And a lot of it is, like I say, hand-to-hand, shovels, knives, just stuff like that. And it's through the night. And then, like I say, come daytime, if they came over next, let's say they came to the 20 yards away, they went over that side and over the next holes over them. They're either dead or there's not very many survivors left. And if they came over on my side, I was normally the only one of us three. I was the only one left alive. And the hole on the other side of me, if there's somebody there, I don't know. My whole world is just around my little hole right here. That's why they're fighting holes in the Marines. They're not foxholes, they're fighting holes. And, okay, so I've learned how to survive. All I have to do is survive till morning. When daylight comes, well, then it's a whole nother lifetime. And so I section my life when it comes to combat into small time zones, I guess you call it. If I can survive the next 5 seconds, I'm going to win. I know that. Whenever I get into situations, I'm just focused on this small period of time, because first I've got to make it through the first second. If I can make it through the first second, then I got a chance to make it through the first 5 seconds. If I can make it through the first 5 seconds, then my chance of improvement or survival increases tremendous. So that's the way I look at things a lot. That's on the combat. And the combat that I talk about and I share with people, it's more of a self-defense. I told you, they're coming to me. The mindset, the area that you're fighting in is different when you are attacking someone and when you are defending an area. So that's why I'm saying I'm not going to run, because when I run, I'm changing the surface of the ground that I'm fighting on, and that puts me at a disadvantage. So I'm going to hold my ground. That's why I talk like that. If I'm standing like right now, I'm standing on concrete, and the thing is, you see, like on both sides here, somebody's coming at me. They have time to adjust to the concrete, so that's not a good thing. I don't want to be caught like this. I want to be caught on the edge of the concrete. Either I want to be on the concrete and they're coming onto the concrete, or I want to be off the concrete. In other words, their footing is used to being on concrete, and now they have to work, or they have to fight on dirt, grass, or something that's more unstable to their feet than the concrete is. That's why I don't run. I'm holding my place, but I got to find a good place to hold. So that's just one of the things that I consider when I'm defending myself. That's why a lot of people don't really understand when they hear the stuff, the equipment that I'm using. I don't tell you the whole story behind all the equipment. I don't tell you the whole story about all this stuff. But when you piece it all together, you'll come up with a big picture of what it is I do. Now, I do the same thing, and like I say, I'm by myself. All these, the policemen, military with their combat skills, and they do all this. They have a support system. I don't. They've got when they are hurt, they got somebody that's going to take care of them. I don't. The tools, I carry few tools, and I look at the tools that my attacker is using. That's because that's going to be my tools. So I look at the kind of tools that they're using, and I know that's going to be what I'm going to be using. So people say, well, you need to go out and practice and practice. I'm not going to practice with their tools because I don't know what kind of tools they're going to have. So we're right back to, that's why I focus on tactics more than equipment. You notice I'm not showing off all my fancy equipment, all that kind of stuff. No, because it means little. In a combat situation, you're going to be using what you can get your hands on. Even my stuff, as good as it is, I know it's going to be replaced. I know it will. And so I'm not going to spend all my time worrying, and time and money, spending it on trying to fix up my fancy gun, and just so I can beat somebody over the head and break it all to pieces. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get the basics, something that works, and I'm going to focus my time and money on the tactics that I use. What kind of tactics? I made tons of videos more on tactics than on the weapons themselves, because the weapons themselves are secondary. If you don't have good tactics, I don't care what kind of weapons you have, it's not going to work. And remember, everybody that's going to come after you in the way of threats, they're going to have a support system. I mean, and I know you're going to have this one mugger that's going to come mug. Notice I don't really make a big thing about one muggers. The reason is, once you can handle 4 to 6, one is just a little exercise for you. So that's why I don't even concern myself with one. I don't even practice with one. In my mindset, it's always 4 to 6 or 8, 10, 12 in different situations, so I can work out tactics for that particular situation. Situation like what? Situation like if I'm walking down the street in the city, and gangs. Remember, I already got involved with gangs, so I already know what I'm getting involved with gangs. And then I say there's I've been on the motorcycle out in the middle of nowhere, and like I say, there'd be bandits or rebels, so I've got to deal with all of them. Now, does that mean I got to fight them? So far, I don't think I've had to fight any of them. So far, my tactics have been good enough that we either don't have a conflict or we get ready to have a conflict, they have to think about their support system. In other words, I told you about the ones with machetes, the bandits. And like I say, they knew some of them were going to get hurt. They didn't have a support system to mend their wounds. And so they decided they didn't want to do it. Okay, for me, I don't have a support system. I know that. I know when I take on, I think there was like 12 of them, maybe even more, I don't remember. And there was more. But the thing is, I don't consider a support system in the way, well, when I get hurt, somebody's going to take, I don't even consider it. And the reason is, I'm probably going to die. Remember, I'm fighting for my life. That's what self-defense is. You're fighting for your life. You're not concerned about a support system. You're concerned about the next few seconds. So, and that's why, especially police are the worst ones. They really don't understand anything that I do. And then there's people that have been to the range, they've been shooting, they got, it's a hobby, they have fun with it and this kind of stuff. They want to ridicule and pick me apart, stuff like that. They don't know what the hell they're talking about either. So, but anyway, I just wanted to get this all clear to you, so you understand when you're watching my videos, your mindset has got to be in a whole nother place. I deal with reality. This is the real thing that I deal with. No screw ups. This is Mike, NoStressMike.com.